Hey guys, how's it going? John here. All right, we have a new version of beta in the vehicle. I am on 10.69.2.2 and I am not working today, so I have the unique pleasure of publishing a video here pretty quickly. I'm super excited about that. And the other thing is I got this version at the same time that all of the early people have gotten it. So I'm kind of on the same page as everybody, and I understand that they're now letting in anybody that has a safety score of 80 or higher, which is huge. That's going to be opening it up to probably 200,000 plus people across North America. And that, of course, today includes the United States of America and Canada. So very exciting. The release notes look exactly the same as the previous version. I didn't see any differences. There are probably little minor tweaks, little modifications. We're going to see if we notice any of those today. I have to take the car over to the post office real quick and then over to an elementary school. So let's go ahead and see how well it does. I have the post office dialed in. All I need to do is double tap down. I have a vehicle coming on the left. Okay, they just turned into another road. So I'm going to double tap down and the car is going to take off. That is one of the coolest things about beta, is that the car will make these decisions all on its own. Now, it really should have gone left back there, so it's always a confusing start. It never knows how to get out of a parking lot or a driveway. It never can identify which way to go. So that is something I think that the beta team is going to have to work on in the future to be able to get that right, because oftentimes it will take the wrong turn, as it just did there. So it should have gone right rather than going left. So we are going to have to do some sort of U-turn. It looks like it's going to be routing us around up here to turn around, because there's no other way than going to the left. So it's just going to kind of do a little U-y. So I'm going to take the car as well over to Woodfield Mall just to see. Okay, it almost hit the curb. Extra caution around that car there. Wow, that was pretty interesting to me that it almost hit the curb, to be honest with you. I'm not sure why it freaked out and took all of that caution. So I do need to put my hand on the steering wheel for feedback and, of course, be looking straight ahead at all times. I did get 4 strikes with 10.12.2 prior to getting 10.69.2, and 2 of those strikes came with 0 warnings. So if you're new to beta, be aware that the warning is a message that comes up that says, please pay attention to the road. And that is, you'll get 3 of those messages within a short period of distance. And then on the 3rd one, that's when you get a strike. A strike can also happen if you're using a mobile device or if you're so-called cheating the system. And I have several videos on that earlier in my channel on how you can cheat the system. And one of those is to take the visor and move it down and then slide it over to block the camera. And I don't know if they've changed that. I'm just going to try it here real quick just to see if it comes up with a message. I'm not seeing a message, but it makes me very nervous to test that now. Before, I mean, obviously I had a strike reset, so I'm not that worried, but maybe that'll be for another video. But previously, you could drive for 20 plus minutes, 30 minutes, covering the camera like that, and it would be completely fine. Another thing is wearing a hat. If you take the brim of the hat and slide it down, you can drive without having any please pay attention to the road messages. Now, obviously, if you look away from the road and the in-cabin camera detects that you're looking away from the road, you will get that message. So here we are up here straight and then turning right into the post office. So it did choose the left lane, which is going straight, which is nice. I would have done this if I were driving manually. Now, both of these lanes can go straight. The one on the right can go straight and right. But typically what happens is, I'd say 90% of the people that come out of this street are going right. So that's why I would have manually gotten in this lane, just out of courtesy for those that are turning right. Now, there's nobody coming up behind us. I'm not anticipating a ton of traffic. It's about 1:20 p.m. on a Monday here. I just love how you can see all of this traffic here. The visualizations never fail to impress me. And the responsiveness of the screen. I mean, you got to keep in mind, this car, which was purchased in March of 2019, Now I did go through a hardware upgrade. I had hardware 2.5, which was built and based off of NVIDIA's chipset. And then it went to hardware 3, which is Tesla's own chipset. And it's a lot faster, and it can handle full self-driving. So when it went to that change, I think things got a little bit faster, but still, that was still in 2019, and it blows my mind how fast and responsive the screen is. So you can see I'm moving my finger here, and it just flies around. I mean, I've never seen that in any other car, and the reason why Tesla can get away with that is because there's no overhead. They're not relying on other manufacturers to provide not only software, but certain hardware pieces as well for their vehicles. So coming up here now, we're going to be turning right. So this is the correct area right here. And it's one way. We do need to, as soon as we come in here, go left. Okay, handles that very well getting into the parking lot. And now I'm going to take over here to manually park. It'd be really cool when it can park itself. So I'm going to run in real quick and we'll be right back. All right, I'm back again. So I'm dialed in for the school, and what we need to do is go in reverse before we can turn it on. So let me put the car in reverse. We'll back up. And right from here, I should be able to turn it on. Now, getting out of here could be a little bit challenging. There's a car coming up behind us, so I'm just going to go forward a little bit, give them some room to maybe park. Okay, they're not parking. So from here, I'm just going to turn it on, and the car should accelerate forward as it is, and putting on the left turn signal. Okay, good. And going a little bit to the right. So this stop sign is being displayed on the right and on the left. Yeah, make this full screen. Autopilot creeping forward, checking for visibility, and it's creeping. There was the creep limit. That's new. That was added with 69. Coming forward here, and we need to go left out of here. There's a car coming here. It's clear to go after this. Okay, very well done. And now it will be interesting to see what path we take to get to the school. It looks like it's having us go straight at this intersection here, which is perfectly fine. Let's see if it can sort out the lines on the road. Turning on the right turn signal to go straight there briefly for a split second. So far, no major issues except for that swerve over to the right to kind of protect itself with that other car and some yard work vehicles on the side of the road. That was quite interesting. It was pretty drastic. I've never seen it kind of overreact so much. I thought it was going to hit the curb, to be honest with you. Okay, you can see the shadows on the road from these trees. It still detects the line very easily. Stops appropriately there. Accelerates forward. No issues there. So as we're going through these relatively easy neighborhood roads, I just want to make a point here that for anybody that is new to the beta program, it's really, I think, normal, or you kind of want to push the system to the limit when it's driving and doing things. Like you're going to think to yourself, oh, it can do this, or oh, it can do that. But if it makes you uncomfortable at all, and especially if it starts annoying other people around you, I would highly encourage you to take over immediately. So be ready to step on the brake, be ready to jerk the steering wheel, because it is not perfect and it does make mistakes. So I was timid to do that, and I thought to myself, you know what, it can figure this out, or oh, no problem, it's got this. But in a lot of cases, it really didn't. And I had to learn that, and I think you're going to go through that learning experience anyway. But I will say, just for out of caution for everybody, if you're new to this, don't think that it can do everything. And especially if it's turning a corner and you think it's going to hit a curb. Don't think, oh, the car's got it. It's figured out curbs. No, it hasn't. There are times when it will cut the corner a little bit too aggressively or too tightly, and then boom, you have some rim damage. So be very careful, guys. It's not perfect. and it does make mistakes. It's still beta. And it just makes me laugh because you have a lot of people that are saying, oh, it's a horrible software, like Dan O'Dowd and a lot of the Tesla Q haters. People saying that it's horrible software, you shouldn't be running this on public roads. I will say that in most cases, this software is way safer than I am. But combining it with me in the driver's seat is definitely safer than me. Okay, so this is interesting. This is a left turn, but this is a really weird intersection. So there's a median in the middle, and it needs to go left. There's nobody behind us, but this is a very unusual road because usually you go around the median on the right side. It figured it out. I'm glad it did that, but it took a little bit of time. It hesitated because that is not a normal left turn. We'll just see if it can get into the parking lot. Looks like it is trying to go. It says exit only. So the car still cannot read signs like that, so it would have tried to go into the exit only area, so I did have to take over there. That's another thing. I'm going to report that, but I don't expect those things to really get polished or to get sorted out until the very final stages of beta. And Elon did say that we'd have this done by the end of this year, so you'd think that the final stages would be now, but in all honesty, I don't see this getting completed. If there is even a way to complete it, to be honest with you, I don't see it being completed for at least another 2 to 3 years minimum. All right, I'm back again. So I just dialed in Woodfield Mall, but I don't have connectivity here, so it says I can enter it as offline address entry. But in my experience, that is a useless option. So what I'm going to do is just back up, start driving manually, and then see if the connectivity comes back, and then enter it in. It took a while there. I don't know what was going on. Okay, so now that we have the destination, we can go ahead and turn on beta. Okay, there we are. So it's on. So anybody that's new to this channel, just should introduce myself. So my name is John. I go by Tech Geek Tesla. I've been testing beta software since 10.3 came out. I was one of the first 99 score people to be let in. And that was back on October 24th, 2021. I was super excited. I did a 1 week or 7-day challenge on the safety score system to see if I could get in, and it worked out perfectly. Exactly within 7 days, I got into beta. I was really excited. Now, the safety score was torture. I had to drive like a really old man. People have commented, you're already old. I don't know what you're talking about. Thanks, guys. Just because I'm bald doesn't mean I'm old. So I'm 42 years old. I live in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, and I love testing beta software. I've been waiting to test this software ever since I purchased it in, I think it was June or July of 2019. So I had to wait 2.5 years. So some people have been complaining, saying, hey, I've been waiting forever to get into beta. How come I have to wait so long? Well, just keep in mind that some people had to wait a lot longer than you guys. So, but I get it. If you're going through the safety score, that is torture. I mean, like I said, that's not fun at all to have to go through that. Now, I was only on the safety score program for a month, so thankfully it wasn't any longer than that. I would have gone absolutely bonkers had it been longer than that. I know some people are doing the safety score for the Tesla insurance. Great. All the more power to you. I know I could never do that. And the reason why is because I just get extremely irritated and annoyed when I get forward collision warnings for no reason at all. That was my biggest problem with the safety score test, because you can't control if someone does something stupid in front of you. And that happens quite often where someone they'll miss a turn and they'll just suddenly brake. And you're like, oh crap, you can't react that quickly. And then other times, you'll have people that'll just pull out right in front of you. That also used to really annoy me. It's like, give me some space. I'm going 30, 40 miles per hour, but they had no care in the world, just pull out right in front of you. And then suddenly their car turns red and you get this message going off. So if you use, what I found out, and I had to learn this the hard way because there were no instructions with the safety score test, but you will not get penalized if you're using autopilot while you're using the safety score test. Now, I don't know if they've changed that, but that was one thing that brought me a lot of comfort after I figured that part out. Also, back then, another way to kind of cheat the system, and I had to do this a couple times, was if I had received a forward collision warning or anything stupid like that had happened, you could do a two-wheel scroll reset, and it would, as long as you didn't park the car, that incident wouldn't count against you. So that was always really nice. But I think they've addressed that since then. And again, that was back in September. That was exactly a year ago. September 2021 is when I was going through all that. Wow, hard to imagine it's been a year. So coming forward here, and then we're going to be turning left on Meacham, and then right over into the mall area. So the car is doing really, really well. I haven't had any super awkward events. And, I'm not noticing any differences so far compared to the previous version. But I didn't really test the other version enough. I drove it for maybe a week, and then this new version came out. So, I can't really say that, especially after one drive, that there's any significant differences. And if you're watching another video and someone is saying, oh my gosh, this is way better, don't believe them. I've said this in my other videos. A lot of people, a lot of the so-called influencers will mention in their videos after one test drive that it's way better or it's way worse, or, you hear all these opinions people throw out. And it's all based on the circumstances around you. You can't control what cars pull out in front of you, or what roads get shut down for construction. None of that can be controlled. So unless they drive the exact same path at the exact same time of day, even then your traffic patterns are going to be different. So you can't really make a conclusion, especially after one drive, that it's way better or way worse. Now, someone could speculate that it's better. Now, you can notice small little improvements over time. So I thought that reporting information to Tesla by hitting the camera icon on the screen would improve the car's ability to react or drive in a particular area in that exact point where you reported it. So for example, if you reported it at a specific intersection on one day, then I would have thought that after a couple days, maybe if not the next day, if you went through that exact same intersection, it would be a lot better. But that has never been the case. And the reason why, I think, is because of the neural nets. And obviously, if Tesla were to tweak or change or modify something for a very specific area, it could affect the way the car operates in other areas. So I get it that hasn't been implemented in certain situations. I totally get it. But it's still frustrating, especially when you report things over the course of several months and there's still issues. So here it got in the left turn lane very appropriately. That was very human-like. I mean, anyone that's driving around me right now would have no clue that my car is driving itself. Okay, so it's getting over to the far right lane, which is the right thing to do. Not completely necessary, but I'll go along with it here. Slowing down. So a couple versions back, the beta visualization, this screen here on the left would be more like this, and I really miss that view. Now it's kind of marginalized, or kind of the viewing area is much smaller on the left when you have the nav open on the right. Because the problem is when you make this full screen, I mean, even though it's really cool and all, you don't know oftentimes like how many miles or how long Oh, it tried to go around that construction. Interesting. You don't know how soon it's coming up. Well, actually, it says 0.1 mile. I take that back. So it's like the series of directions, and the arrival time and stuff is missing. Okay, so it's a green arrow. We can go right here. Okay, now it's a yellow arrow. Let's see if it stops, and it does. Okay, nobody behind us. And creeping. We can go right on red, I believe. But if we did, we'd get hit, because now there's some other cars coming. Okay, so we're waiting for these. Now we have someone behind us. It is appropriate to go right. Now, after that car goes, okay, here we go. Very good. Okay, so creeping. Come on, you can do this. You got it. Come on. Okay. Changing lanes to follow route. Very good. Okay, now there's a car in the way. So it's actually speeding up. Not fast enough to get over yet. Changing lanes to follow route. Come on. Go, 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 go. Faster. Okay, now it needs to get all the way over to the left. Come on, you can do this. Okay, shoot. So it's going to miss this. So it needs to go left here. Let's see if it can pull this off. So the other car is blocking me, not allowing me to get in the left turn lane. And see if it actually goes over. Okay, it does. Just very late. Okay, we're not hanging out or anything. Now, sometimes that was a problem in the past. Might still be, where it will get over too late or whatever, and then it'll just kind of hang out in the middle of the lanes. Okay, going left here, unprotected left. After this car passes, the car is going to go all by itself. Yes, it does. Very good. Beautiful. And then we are here. So now it's going to go right here, I think. And then this is labeled as the main entrance, like right in here. I think we've basically arrived. Yep. Okay, so, it's actually going to go left in here. Hopefully no cars behind us. Okay, navigation on autopilot complete, but it's just going to kind of end here, which is fine. I just don't know why the left turn signal had turned on. All right, so I've dialed in my home address, and I'm just going to double tap down, and we'll fast forward through this. Hopefully there's no issues. It will just go smoothly all the way from here to my home, and then we'll call it a day. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.